Just as sure as we all have a guardian angel, we all have a destructive demon. We all have that benevolent presence. Some might call it soul, who whispers to us in our quiet moments, even when we are despairing. And, just as sure, when things are going well, we can be certain that our destructive demon will show up. Will show up to seek to take out our legs, to undermine our progress, and, if we let it, bring us back to square one. And I faced this last night in very real time, as I found myself, I guess, flirting with the edges of breaking the fast that I've been on, and that's been giving me so much in the way of clarity and healing. And I found myself in the throes of an old pattern, particularly around sweet things. So my fast is a distilled liquids diet, and honey is actually a distilled liquid. And yet I found myself chomping through a good amount of honey. So even though on technical So even though in technical terms I was still successfully only taking in distilled liquids, I was very much bending those rules so that I could get some sweetness into my system. And the gift in all of this was to notice how differently I navigated this experience. Because very often the thing here is that when our demons come to play, when we have to dance with this destructive demon that comes for all of us, that seeks to be that limiting force to the evolution of our greatness. And were we to give into it, it is not actually the behavior that we think is the problem. So for me, it is not the eating of too much sweet stuff that is the problem. It is what comes after. And we can see that perhaps, and many, many cultures would actually say this is a fact, like that this is what the demon feeds on, is the shaming and the self-loathing that would come after a behavior that is not in alignment with our greatest self. So for me, typically, what would have occurred in the past is a wallowing in shame of, oh, I'm so useless, I'm so, I ate all this honey, right? And I would have beaten myself for shame, self-loathing. And that would have likely kicked in a spiral where in the past I'd have eaten more and more sugary things, more and more, because just to almost like making it a self-fulfilling prophecy of how shameful I was. And of course, then more shame and more shame. So that one behavior becoming the catalyst for an ongoing cycle of shame and self-loathing that the demon feeds on. It is not the behavior, it is the reaction to the behavior. And we have two choices. We can react, that is, we can go into those shameful self-loathing patterns, or we can respond. And the incredible gift is that last night I responded with love rather than reacting with shame. And almost from the place of compassionate witness, was able to sit with myself and be like, wow, okay, George, yeah, you really went for it there. Okay, you okay? Yeah, okay, there probably is something going on. We're not quite sure what, but what we don't need to do right now is do a load of shaming and self-loathing. Yeah, I know it's tempting. It really is tempting, yeah. Yeah, I kind of want to. I'm tempted to do a little bit, but I don't think it's going to help. And so as I was lying in bed, just giving myself the experience of washing my body in love, like breathing in with every out breath, just imagining like waves of love pouring over my body. And something unbelievably profound occurring in all of that. To see like real time, again, like almost from this position of compassionate, detached witness, to see such a transition occurring, to see a default mode being rewired, was unbelievably strong. And I'm so grateful I get to share with you this, what feels like such a vital distinction, that it is not the behavior, it is what comes after the behavior that is the issue, that is the thing to be faced. And so my curiosity then is, how might this play out for you? How does your demon show up? What are some of those behaviors that your demon of destruction knows are going to trip you off into this, downward spiral? So that the next time you find yourself doing that behavior, because sometimes, look, the demon's going to win. The demon's going to get in there and we're going to be doing the behavior. For some people it might be, looking at pornography. For others it might be, finding themselves on Amazon at 2 a.m. in the morning buying something they really don't need, right? We all have those behaviors. And our demon has got a good number of ways to get under our radar and make sure the behavior is happening before we're almost conscious of it. Yet once we are conscious of it, then we can choose, react from fear and shame and blame and loathing, or respond with a natural way of life. Respond with the truth of life, which is that no matter what behaviors you may evidence, you are always lovable. You are always worthy of loving and being loved. And you are always, never alone. You are always loved and supported and cherished by a world that values you more than you can know. So, whenever the demons come and seek to destroy all you're building, just know that the more you can stay in love, the more you can dance with your demon and break through to ever greater heights and depths of loving growth and purpose. Okay. Have a great day.